It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it's day 3 in Claremont. And boy, have we ever made progress. These are the plants that we have left after I completed the installation. I have another project next week back in San Diego in Granite Hills. I can use every single plant, so I'll take those back home with me. No harm, no foul. You know, Hannah and I worked diligently last night and this morning, really connecting the dots through this design space. We planted the 5-gallon plants first, then came back with the stuff from Oasis, the little 1-gallons, and just began connecting dots. And it was so fun because I haven't got to do a tapestry this elaborate in a really long time. And, you know, a couple of you commented that you felt like maybe there were too many plants. I understand. And then some others of you that have been following the channel for a while stepped up and said, just be patient, wait till she works with the rock. And you will see that the rock changes and elevates everything. Also, you know, it just got me thinking, another reason why some people don't like to work with succulents is because they feel like they're very dry and they look very deserty, and it's just, you know, we're not in the desert. Well, technically we are, but they want flowers and posies and that energy that comes from lots of color. Well, you know, if you look over on the other side of the property here, we've got roses and vinca and other, you know, perennial or biannual flowers and plants. And in my opinion, they give off the same vibe and the same energy as our succulent tapestry, you know, in terms of the color and just what they do emotionally. So you don't necessarily need to expend the energy, the maintenance, the fungicides, the water, and the grooming on that type of plant material. You can get that feeling in these desert plants that will need maintenance once a year, if that. And so many flowers, you know, like Hannah said, that's the echeveria that's just coming into bloom. The aloe nobilis is in bloom right now. The ruchia will bloom throughout the warm months. We'll be getting, this little cotyledon is getting ready to flower. Here's a little black prince here that's getting ready to flower. The millii ready reds flower pretty much year round. Look at this gorgeous echeveria and its flowers. So every season you've got blooms too to delight you on top of the colorful foliage. So that's my sales pitch on that. Greg took off. He ran out of some little irrigation doohickeys that he needed, so he went to the store. But I can show you what he's got done. Basically, when we come in and do a landscape, we cap all of the existing irrigation and just run off of one port or one sprinkler. So he identified one back here, and he attached his drip line, this 1-inch, is that what you call it, Hannah? The 1-inch line to that sprinkler with a pressure. It's got a built-in pressure reducer and filter. We have never had a problem with Netafin clogging. It's a great product. And you can see that he has run this tube loosely, you know, just kind of hither-thither throughout the landscape, all the way back around here. He'll come down through the front. This is advanced irrigation because of the sheer quantity of plants that I've planted. This big, thick brown line isn't going to cut it, is it? So, what he will do is after he runs those brown lines through, he'll attach these micro lines. And thank you.
I'll give you that one after.
Okay, so these little thin black tubes, actually there's just a little attachment The little end goes into the hole, and then you can attach the black to that. And then you can see the little holes in the black, which will emit water as well, but you can get in a lot tighter if you need to go directionally with this line. These little elbow joints, there's lots of different types. You can go this way, you can go that way, or you can get one that tees and goes both ways, so you can attach more line and get a little more flexibility. Then once we have all of the irrigation mapped out, Greg tests it, and then we go through and we bury it, so under the dirt, so that it doesn't show. And we do that. Well, here's the master now. We do that with these staples. This brown line is going to be trenched and then stapled about 12 inches apart so that we don't see any of that brown line. The electrical that Greg installed, we have lights. We've got a little uplight here. And yes, I'm going to try to show you what the lights look like if I can. We've got a light, it's like, where's Waldo? Here's one here shining up on the yucca rostrata. And then we have one over here shining on the fountain. You just did 3? Yeah, so we just have the 3 lights. Eager to see what that's going to look like. But the low voltage wire has already been buried. You can't see it. That's really, really important to bury your hardware. So what's going to happen now is Greg is going to continue on with the irrigation. Hannah's going to help him. And I'm going to have the pleasure of starting to work on pebbling around my fountain. This is 5/8 to 3/8 to 5/8 La Paz. And I told you I was going to make it a surprise. What I'm going to do, we've got a lot of this in bags, and I am going to create this meandering path that's going to come all the way out to the sidewalk. So you could approach the fountain if you wanted. And then along the edges, I may bring in more plants. I may bring in more rubble. We've got a lot of little pieces like this left that I can pop in as needed for retention or just interest or just to create a little bit of a visual barrier between types of rock. Our top dressing rock is a very different color. You'll get to see that tomorrow. But right now I'm going to have a whole lot of fun working with this La Paz. Yeah? Good? Do you have anything to add there, lover? Nope, Greg doesn't have anything to add. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Oh, and I met with the coolest guy today in Rancho Cucamonga named Mike. And he has got a fantastic front half acre that is just desperate for Team DFS. So keep a good thought that it works out and we get to come back up and tackle Mike's landscape. This has been Laura Eubanks in Claremont on day 3 with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.